Number 1. A mother has been thinking about taking her son to the doctor, but the huge abscess in his butt keeps telling her not to. Number 2. Rigby groaned and face-palmed as he tried to pull the slime and gunk out of the sink. He screamed at the top of his lungs when something was pulling it all back in. Number 3. When a big tornado hit, loads of people evacuated. After hearing the tornado come closer and closer, a man lets go of the prison bars in bitter resentment. Number 4. A father promised his daughter when he returns home from his long business trip that they would sit down and rewatch the movie Barney's Great Adventure from her last birthday. But now he's dying in the hospital, all because he wanted to bake cookies. Number 5. Hey kid, are you lost? Ashido heard as she felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned around to see nothing, as she was lost in this hallway in an abandoned building. Number 6. Kirumi watched a kid's dance show at least 200 times. If she pauses at the right frame, she can almost help Shuichi make out the stranger that was taking to the kid backstage before he... That was talking to the kid backstage before he went missing. Number 7. There's nothing like the sweet laughter of an Exceed. Unless if it's 3 a.m. and you are an Exceed and you're home alone. Number 8. A couple's daughter went into a room to check on her cat and her newborn kittens. The window was open and the basket was empty. Number 9. 2 twin brothers just discovered they have a dog. Now they understand why their parents didn't want them to go alone in their basement. Number 10. The TV in Makoto's dorm keeps turning on by itself. What's even worse is that it only shows footage of Makoto himself standing in his dorm. Number 11. A wife has a husband who has a very big collection that he's proud of. He's never told her that he's been collecting souvenirs of all of the girls he's tortured and killed. Number 12. You are a 12-year-old girl who's alone in the house in the middle of the night when all the power goes out. It's very dark. A storm is outside. Lightning strikes. And there's a creature that looks like a gangly old man with bent limbs and a stick-like frame, hiding under your bed. Number 13. A new kid in Sesame Street has been scratching his itch and using itch cream for several weeks. It just won't stop bleeding. Number 14. A haunted picture frame came in the UA High mail today. Now, if Midnight could figure out what happened to the picture inside the frame. Number 15. You kissed your dog, but he wouldn't give you kisses. He was already decomposing. Number 16. You are a Doberman, and your adopted kittens never went into the attic. One day they did, and they never came back out. Number 17. There was a knock on the door, and something inside of Drix told him not to open the HPD attic door. Number 18. You can't take him, a man screamed as he held his puppies as close as he could out of their reach. If they get to them, they'll return them to the sick, messed up, sadistic gold digger monster who was originally their owner. Number 19. I wonder what made this bed feel so soft, Harriet wondered when her bed tore open one day. Harriet and the rest of the Brutals stood in horror as billions of locusts crawled and flew all over Harriet's room. Number 20. Nekomaru shined a flashlight over a large cabinet of small, old paintings. Their eyes contracted. Number 21. A teenage boy was excited because his girlfriend would be home soon. His plate had been empty for a very long time. Number 22. Goofy woke up to hear knocking on wood. At first, he thought someone was knocking on the door until he heard it coming from the wall again. Number 23. There was a picture on the computer of Walden sleeping. He lives alone. Number 24. A girl with severe autism is laying in her bed with her eyes closed. Her boyfriend came into her room and tucked her in. "Good night, babe," she said, only to be answered with a demonic voice whispering into her ear, "I'm not your boyfriend." Number 25. Gretchen's great aunt told her to come outside. This would have been fine if her great aunt hadn't died 10 years ago. Number 26. Sometimes Alex could hear the sounds of a woman humming a peaceful but creepy melody. There were no humans, and it only happens when he's alone. Number 27. As the crayon rolled under the bed, a little girl sighed and got off her bed to find it. I'm not sure what's worse, having the crayon rolled back to her, or finally seeing what's been making noises walking around in a room while she's sleeping. Number 28. Ever since this occult museum has been open, most of the artifacts always gave Meatwad the creeps. Until one day, he watched the police examine the artifacts and splitting them open. Meatwad learned that they weren't actually inanimate objects. Number 29. When you visit a new family member's home, one of the first things you do is explore their house. First, you check the basement. Good, nothing scary, you thought as you climbed back upstairs, only to find that the door was gone. Number 30. Yeah, there's no humming sound, Collins said to the heaven priest on the phone. Feeling nervous and anxious about the humming sound and why it sounds like a woman's voice, humming a creepy melody in reverse. Good, he said. And if you and the other cherubs are safe, as long as the humming noise is gone. But if you hear it coming, run. Number 31. A teenage girl was always jealous when her older brother was talking to other girls at the store. How come he never treats me like the way he treats those girls? Number 32. And this is where the murder takes place, said the police officer in a radio program that Ruby and Scaredy Bat were listening to. Scaredy wondered why he said takes instead of took as he heard him lock the door. Number 33. No, I didn't turn the radio on, and the TV's not on either, said Jimmy Lee, as he was still half asleep. Then, well, what is that scary sounding orchestra music coming from the walls? Number 34. It was already creepy when the family adopted 3 dogs that were pregnant because they weren't for the past weeks that they've seen them. But the fact that they're male dogs made it worse. Number 35. When the thief made this teenager guess where he kept his pit bull, he went for the basement and he said, correct, allowing him to see it. But when he found its severed left front leg and paw there, the teenager learned that every other choice would have been correct as well. Number 36. Last night, Lucy visited a man in his mid-40s who was serving a life sentence in prison. As she watched the heartless man shaking and curling up in a ball of fear, Lucy knew he finally regretted trying to take Fangs away from her. Number 37. After hearing about a runaway serial killer on the news, a woman called her son to come straight home after school. To this day, she blames himself for his death because the ring from her call gave her son, his teacher, and his classmates' hiding location away. Number 38. When Caillou walked into the basement to see that the walls had been painted, he was excited. But as he got deeper into the basement, he started to wonder, what was that foul smell coming from? Number 39. The animals were never quiet, and they would never sleep. It's almost been 50 years since the fire broke out in a closed-down zoo. Number 40. Be careful what you wish for, Apollo's uncle said when he was younger. The wishing star is not the only thing that can hear you. Number 41. When Moxie was a teenage imp, his best friend was always working hard, attempting to lose weight. So when he saw a shooting star in hell, he remembered what his mother taught him and wished that his best friend would lose 12 pounds. The next day, Moxie learned that his friend had gotten into a horrible motorcycle accident, and the doctors had to amputate his leg. Number 42. When Millie was a little imp, Her mother entered her room after hearing whimpering and reassured her that there's no such thing as monsters in hell. Millie had no idea who or what she was talking about because she had been hiding in the closet for the past 5 hours. Number 43. Squidward had made an account for a horror-themed website. He had to delete the account, though, because it was full of pictures of him inside his house. Number 44. A woman could never understand why, from the day they adopted it, that her puppy would whimper and yelp when her boyfriend tried to pet it and hold it. It was only until after it became an adult that she learned it was the reincarnation of a dog that he killed. Number 45. An angel asked a college girl what he wished for. She told it that the only thing she wanted was to be loved and understood. And there she is, 3 years and a whole summer of being a scapegoat, putting a gun to her head. Number 46. Kids, a mother called to her children. Could you two get the fake blood from the attic so I can decorate the basement for Halloween? She asked. I'm glad my kids still think it's fake, she thought. Number 47. Aw, these cats look so cute together, a man said as he buries their lifeless bodies in the backyard garden. Number 48. As Octavia began to cry, Stolas and Stella sleepily argued over whose turn it was to comfort her. Their stomachs dropped when they heard an unknown voice through the walls and rooms say, "Don't worry, I'll catch him." Number 49. Bullets flew through the museum, ripping everything to shreds in the chaos. No one noticed the artifacts bleeding. Number 50. It seems you discovered a new species of spiders. The girls' parents felt a frightening rise in their chests as the doctor came back with the x-rays. This also explains the itching in your skin.